So then once we went into that, I pretty much got into the pizzeria business. Saw that was kind of like, which not downing anybody or anything like that. It's good for if you want a cash business and you want to make money quick, and you just kind of love to be in that field. It's great. But
yeah, sure.
For me, I always wanted something more. Even to this day, I mean, I envision where I'm going to be at. I have a goal set in mind, $50 million. It's there. So
wow.
I wake up every morning. I say to myself, I'm going to do something to make myself to the next step. So, so once I got to that, we went from there to landscaping business. And once I was there, I was working actually with my oldest brother there.
Okay.
And I remember talking with him, and I was telling him, I'm like, I can't do this. I mean, I was making $11.45, working 65 hours a week, and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not making any money. I'm not. And he's like, and he jokes about it now because he does really well too. And we keep bringing this up, and he was like, look, if you put 5 years in here, you'll be making $50,000 a year, and then and that's good money. You'll be riding a mower and you'll be chilling. And I'm like, 50,000? That's not for me. And again, I don't want to sound it just from where my vision was. It just wasn't good enough for me. So.
Okay.
I ended up, I can't even remember how I ended up, but I ended up at Tweeter. I don't know if you remember that company.
Tweeter, no.
So there were actually 280 stores nationwide, but
audio sound.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Car audio and smart. Well, they were smart home before smart home was around, but they did high end hi-fi as well, and they had a location in Bel Air. Where I worked was in Timonium.
Okay.
And I originally went there. I went to the Bel Air location, and I remember I went there in my landscaping outfit, or like not late, but like what I was wearing for there, because I wanted something that was commission sales. Like I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I went there, and the guy laughed at me. He was like, "You're coming to apply for a job, and you're
looking like that."
I was like, good point. So
it's not a good start to an interview.
No. So he said, "No, we're not hiring." And so I had stepped back. I ended up at a car dealership for like 3 weeks, and I killed it there. It used to be Days Audio or whatever, right on 40 and 152.
Okay. Yep.
I think there's a camp there now, or RV camper store there.
Yeah.
And I killed it there. And again, this is probably why they went under, that place. But I ended up selling. They put me in the budget lot. And they said, look, if you sell anything in the budget lot and bring it up to the top lot where the nice cars were, you would get extra commission. So that's all I sold, is I upsold everybody to there. And then when it got to the end of the month, they got upset with me. They said the salespeople got all upset because I was taking their sales. And they said, well, what we're going to do for you is we're just going to give you $1,000 and just call it even. And I was like, no, I'm good. And so I went back to Timonium Tweeter. Made sure this time I was in nice stuff. And the guy offered me a job right then. So his name was Todd Petrick. I actually still talk to him to this day. He's actually one of my biggest mentors getting into this field. That started me into audio video.
Yeah.
And he basically took me under his wing. And once I got the taste of commission and seeing that you get paid what you're worth, like what your worth is, I did really well. I kind of worked my way up through the field and became one of the youngest sales managers. And then it was just like everything went nuclear, and basically 2008 hit. So in the real estate market, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It just killed everything, the industry as a whole. And we did really well that year. Actually, it was one of my best sales years working for somebody. But what ended up happening, their demise was, before we went out of business, Circuit City went out of business. Well, Circuit City was a powerhouse. They had 1,500 stores worldwide.
Yeah.
So they didn't pay their vendors, and then they came to us, Tweeter, not me, but like the CEO people, and we're like, hey, you gotta pay cash. And that's not how they work. They would do terms. So they would buy all their stuff in July and pay it all back in January at the end of the holiday season. So there's a couple other things that happened in between then. They switched hands and so on and so forth. But at that time, literally my firstborn was born October 6th, 2008. I was sitting at dinner with one of my sales managers up here. I think we were at Libertori's, actually.
Okay.
We were sitting at dinner. We both got a text or an email saying, hey, in the next 30, 60 days, we're going to be closing all the stores.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So that was
So that door closes.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was and actually, which another thing that happened was my wife. She was in the title business. She actually got laid off while she was pregnant, which that's a whole other. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but she got laid off.
Okay.
And so she was laid off. I'm finding out that I'm done too as well.
Oh, my God.
At the time I was getting offers for other AV companies to say, hey, come work for us. We want you here. Because in this field, the successful businesses, I mean, we're pretty well, like, there's salespeople that are known. Same as like real estate.
Sure.
I mean, there's certain people that you scout. So they had come to me and said, hey, we'll give you this position. We'll give you this offer. And at the time, I sat my wife down. And I was like, if I'm going to do this again and I'm going to build this up, if it's going to fail, it's going to be my fault. I mean, I had no hands in this last failure. I mean, I did everything I had to do.
Yeah.
So I told her, and she thought I was crazy at the time. She was like, we have a newborn. What are you doing? And I said, I'm going to do it. And so I remember I basically towards the end of the last 2 weeks, I started telling customers that were there, I'm like, hey, I'm starting my own business. If you want, because they were liquidating and selling all the products. So I said, we can install it for you.
Okay.
Because they weren't doing an install at the time. So I kind of started from there. And then from that point on, it just kind of rolled with it. I mean, I had a Civic hatchback at the time. I was doing, deliveries in that. I had a truck too, but I didn't want to mess up the truck, at the same time. So I was doing deliveries with that. And then it just kind of grew, thing after thing after. We went up again, and then down again, and then up again, and it just grew from there. It's been a journey. I mean, we started with that, and then we had a location at Jarvis Appliance for a little bit, where we were sharing. They have a Sub-Zero Wolf section there now.
Okay.
But we were in that location, and then we scaled down a little bit, and then grew exponentially. I mean, COVID rush, we probably did 100 times what we would do before. So
did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead. Click it. Go ahead.